Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. July 15th, 2018. I'm doing a remake of beef stroganoff. I've changed things around a little bit, and I'm curious to see how it turns out. So I want you to take a journey with me to the stove, and I'm going to talk about it. First of all, I sauteed some mushrooms. You get a pack of mushrooms at the grocery store and finely chop them and saute them in a couple of tablespoons of butter and a couple of tablespoons of oil until they turn out like this and they look really good. And I browned a pound of hamburger meat. It's ready to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 cups of milk, I'm going to add some beef broth. Just give me a second here. I came up with this idea because the last time I used cream of mushroom soup, and I thought, well, why can't I see if I can come up with this of my own without using any of the processed stuff that you buy at the store. Some beef broth. Probably about a cup or so. Okay. And I'm going to put in some Italian seasoning. Give me a second to open up Italian seasoning. Onion powder. Everybody knows I keep onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasoning in my pantry, and I use it just about all the time. You can go to a lot of places and get your spices for $1 or less. And some garlic powder. Now, I'm using a low sodium beef broth, so I may just put a little bit of salt in here, not a whole lot. And I'm going to boost the heat up. Let this start boiling. When it does, I'm going to add a 12-ounce package of extra wide egg noodles. Now I want you to stay tuned here in just a moment. When this thing starts boiling, I'm going to put the egg noodles in the pot. Stay tuned. Alright, I added the egg noodles to the pan. You would want to let this cook for probably about 10-15 minutes or so until the noodles are good and tender. Now what you would want to do, if you start to run out of liquid, just keep the box of beef broth that you have, or canned beef broth. I'll get it out here in a minute. And what you want to do, you would want to add a little bit at a time until you get the right consistency. Now, I want you to stay tuned. Down towards the end, I'm going to add a couple of more ingredients. Alright, 10 minutes have already passed, but I'm going to let it cook just a little bit more because the noodles aren't as tender as I want it to be. You would want to cook this for about 10-15 minutes, maybe 20, depending upon how done you like your noodles. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some sour cream, just a little bit, probably a couple tablespoons of sour cream, and I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese to this. Now along the way, I ended up using the whole carton of beef broth. I added a little bit at a time. You can tell this is the consistency that I wanted. And you may want to adjust your salt according to your taste. Now, like I said, I'm going to add some sour cream. I'm going to add some grated Parmesan cheese. Now, I want you to stay tuned for the final presentation. Alright folks, it's ready to be eaten. Now don't forget to add in the mushrooms that you sauteed, or I sauteed towards the end of cooking. And like I said, it is ready to be eaten. Now, if you wanted to take a shortcut and fix the noodles separately and the sauce, and then when the noodles get done, you boil them in a pot according to package directions, you go right ahead. It's totally up to you. But this is good to go. Continue to subscribe, like my videos, comments are welcome. Have a blessed Sunday afternoon.